Hey guys, welcome back. So guys, in this video we are going to make our slider CRUD application. So we will create that heading and paragraph and link name of that, okay, and with the image. So we want to add a custom slider, not a static slider. So guys, let's get started with that. So first let's move to our dashboard and let's create one tab called slider, and let's click on that so we can find this home slider. So guys, now let's create a page and start with that. So first let's create a model and migration table for this. Let's open the terminal and now let's give a command. So first we'll create model with the migration, so both at once. So php artisan make model where slider hyphen m, okay, hit. So model and migration both are created, guys. And now let's go to our first model. You can see slider model. So this is Laravel 5.8, so it's coming out in Laravel latest version 8 version. It's coming inside the model. So guys, now let's assign the table. Protected $table is equal to where your table name, that will be a sliders, okay, as simple. And then your fields, protected $fillable is equal to inside array format. One will be heading, description, then the third one is link, and the fourth link name, image, and one status. Done. And now guys, let's push these things into our database. So let's create these things. Let's go to a slider. So this is my sliders table, and add that $table of string, not string, we'll take medium text because heading and paragraph always be big for the sliders. So let's give medium text, which will be heading, copy, and then same as description, copy and paste, and then link also let it be lengthy only, and link name will be small, so let's give string underscore name, and then the status, not status, image, and then finally status, and this will be tiny integer with the default. By default it should store 0, and this should be nullable also, nullable, and make the description as nullable. Okay, so these three fields nullable, mandatory is heading and image. So let's save, guys, and let's migrate this table first. php artisan migrate. So create slider table is migrated successfully, and let's close this, guys, and let's try to call the page. So let's copy this URL and go to routes web.php, and inside your admin middleware we are going to create a slider route. So let's keep this slider route : get function, paste admin, then your slider controller at index function. So let's create a controller first. php artisan make : controller, inside admin folder / I want to create slider controller. Hit enter. Something is missing. Okay, we gave us wrong spelling for this controller. Controller, hit enter. Controller created. Let's go inside our app, http controller, inside admin we have created slider controller. Perfect. Let's kill this terminal and leave. Let's create a function, public function, and the function name will be index function, and return view, where inside admin folder I am going to slider folder, and inside that index page I am going to call. So let's copy this slider and create a folder. Resource, views, admin. Inside admin, create a slider folder, and then create one index.blade.php file. Done. And now guys, let's extend the template. So let me just copy from another page, and let's end the section. End section. And now guys, container margin top 5, row column MD 12, card header h4, which is slider, a tag, add slider, class. We are going to design this button primary, float right, and after this card body, your slider data will be here. Okay. And now guys, once you click on this add, you will redirect to which? Add slider. So now let's see the output first. Refresh. You can see the output. Cool. Let me just make this button as small. Button SM. Save. Refresh. You can see that. So let's click on this and you will redirect to add slider. And let's create a route and create a page for it first. Let's go to web.php, route : get function, paste, go to create function, slider controller. Let's copy this and paste below, paste here, and use create blade file. Let's go create.blade.php. Let's copy the same thing and send into our create file. Let's make this as home slider and keep this as danger, and this will be the back button. And now inside this you are going to tell add slider, and here your form starts. So let me just show the output before that. Refresh. Cool. So you can see that add slider option. And now guys, let me design the form and show you the output. So let's start with the form, and yep guys. So guys, I have created the form over here. So let me just show with that. So first is heading, and then your description with the text area, then link and the link name, and then the file, that is upload image. So main thing, which is input type file, and this is image, and one checkbox guys. So when you're using input type file, that time you need to send over here as enc type is equal to multipart form data. Okay, so this is the main thing to upload the image, and let's send with the post method, and the URL you are going to create over here to store the slider. So over here store slider function, URL, and after this at CSRF field you will call CSRF token, and one simple button guys we needed. So let me just copy with this, and let's remove and create one button. Submit will create. Okay, and this type will be submit, and this class button primary. Done. Save. Now guys, let's try to see the output. So let's refresh. You can see perfect. So guys, now let me just remove this class from this status. Okay, save, refresh once again. Cool. So status checkbox is 0 means visible, 1 means hidden. So now guys, let's try to insert the data. So let's copy this URL and go to your web routes and use a route of post method, send, and go into your admin /slider controller at store. So copy this and move to your function and create here public function store function, and inside this $slider is equal to new slider. After this, call your column name. So my column name is heading is equal to $request request. So before this request you need to pass inside this. So let's send that request $request, and then only you can access this request with the input method. So what are your input fields? So this is the heading, copy and paste. So same way you are going to call all your database columns and then your input fields, link underscore name. And guys, for the image to store we need to check in another method. So let's use if condition. If the image is there, then you have to come on set this. So $request of your has file function, where if the image is there, then you will be inside this. So let's create a file variable is equal to $file of your which file. Oops, we need to make this request, okay, not file, request image. So if it is finding, then you have to get that, and first let us get the extension here. So let's tell $extension is equal to $file of your get client original extension semicolon, and then this is your extension now. And let's create the file name. $file name is equal to, first let us create the file name with the time function. Let's concatenate, keep single dot, single quotes, and then dot inside this, no spaces, okay, no spaces, dot, and then your extension. So let's take this extension and paste over here. Let's move this file into one folder. So use move function to move the file inside uploads / my slider folder / and what name I want to give that file name, okay. So let's take this file name and send. As simple. Now guys, let us see this path. So let's go to a public uploads. You can find that slider folder. If you don't have, please create it, okay. And now guys, once it's done, we need to save this, okay. So let's copy this, paste, and tell this image column is equal to $file name. We want to save the file name, okay. And after this guys, $slider of status is equal to $request of input function, where you are going to check with the status. If it is set to true, which means it is checked, then you need to store 1. If it's not checked, you need to store 0. And after this guys, you need to save it, save function. Let's return and redirect back with the message status slider added successfully, save, okay. So to show this message on back to create page, let's use a simple if else statement. If session of status is set means, then you have to show that. So where are you going to show? In one h5 tag, class is equal to alert success, save, and let's try to insert the data guys now. As simple, first refresh, and let's add slider 1 heading, slider 1 description with dummy some images. Okay, and link right now we'll give hash, and link name will be read more. And now guys, let's try to upload the image. So let me select with this, and I want to be visible, so let's keep it unchecked only. So let's submit. Okay, we did not import the slider, so please import that. Let's get back. So this slider we are using, import the class. So class is not found. Why? We can check over here, its class is there, so you need to create a capital S. Okay, so let's make that capital S, save, and rename this, save it, as simple. Now guys, let's call this path. So that was one mistake, small mistake. Let's import the class app slider. Perfect. So let's get back, refresh, and now let's submit again. Cool. So slider added successfully, and let's see in our database guys. So first let's refresh. Let's see this slider. Open this slider table. You can find the data. Cool. So now let's check the image is available or not. So first let's go to inside our public folder, uploads, and in the slider you can find this image. Perfect. So guys, now let's try to access this on your main page. Okay, so this slider. So let's create a simple table and access that details. So this is your slider data, and inside this table bordered table row, table heading, ID, heading, image, and then status, and after this one edit button. So there will be no option for delete because we don't delete any images, we just update that. So table body, table row, and inside this table data we are going to paste all the loop all the datas over here. So let's go back to our controller. At the index function we are getting the index page, right? Let's create the variable slider is equal to slider model : all function compact, and pass this data. When you go back to your index page, use for each loop, and then same slider. Let's take this item, cut and paste, take this $item and paste inside this $item of ID, then heading and your image and the status, and one simple button, tda tag, edit, create a class, button success, button small. So guys, now let's refresh. Okay, so we are getting, and now let's call the image path and this condition of 0 1 status. So let's make it down and call the image tag, where call the path of it asset function, and inside this uploads folder / slider, and then your concatenate your image item. So let's send over here as simple, and let's give a width size for this. I want to keep 100 pixel, slider image. Let's remove this extra thing, save. And now for this, use if else condition. If item of status is double equal to 1 hidden, else visible. Done. Save. Let's remove this extra thing, and now let's see the output, guys. Perfect. So now let's try to edit this data, guys. As simple. So let's create one URL and move URL edit slider with the ID. So that is $item of your primary key ID, and let's copy this and create a path. Route : get function where ID, give forward slash and then pass your ID at your controller. So let's copy this and paste and tell edit. Let's go back to our slider controller and create a function. So public function and function name edit, return view, which is admin.slider.edit, and let's go to our slider folder and create this file name. Inside my slider folder, I'm going to create edit.blade.php file. As simple. So guys, let's copy the same form from your create and paste inside your edit, and let's rename this as edit slider. This will be back button, as simple, and update this URL to update with the variable called $slider of ID. So what is the slider? Let's go to our controller, and inside this you're passing the $slider variable is equal to then your slider model : find function, where you are going to find $ID. So this $ID is coming from your edit function. So this edit function, how it's coming over here, you have assigned that route. Okay, so whatever at this route you're passing, that ID you're going to take and push to edit function and send that in your model. And let's send this variable into your edit blade file using compact function and paste that slider. So guys, we are going to copy this and then you are going to fetch over here, and now let's fetch that values. So $slider of, which is this heading. Okay, let's copy this and paste for the other fields. So this is input, and let's type link, then link underscore name. Let's copy this and paste for your description. It's a text area, so we are going to paste directly inside that description. And then finally one status, if double equal to, if it is 1, then you have to tell this will be checked, else it will be null. Okay, so if it's 1 only, that time only you are going to check. And now guys, one image. So let's try to fetch that image path which you have created in your index page. So let's copy the same path and paste, refresh. Okay, so instead of $item you have to paste $slider. That's it. So now guys, let's try to view the output of this first. Refresh first and click to edit. Cool. So slider 1 and its detail, then link, read more, and the image also has come. So now let's try to change this image and update the image. Okay, so guys, let's move back to a form. So first you need to create one URL and one method, put method. Now let's create a route using put method, put method, where you're passing the ID inside this, and update. So let's get back to our controller, and now let's copy the same code for of store to update the image. Okay, so let's change the function name first to update and send the id or parameter which you are sending over here, and remove this new to and give find function and place that $id, and then as same it moves. So over here we need to check that if old image exists, you need to remove that. So first create a path called destination. Destination is equal to, inside single quotes, call your path. So this is the path. Let's paste that and then concatenate with the $slider of image, image image, and then guys let's use if condition to check file : exist function. So what exists? So this destination with the file name, if it is there, then you're going to come inside this and use delete function to destroy this destination with the file. As simple. Now if it's not there, if path is not there, then update, done. Change the status. So let's change the status, update and return and redirect back to edit page. So once you return, the status will be shown over here. Cool. So now guys, let us refresh and update the data. So let's give heading 1 updated, and the image from green to we will check with the sky. Let's submit. Okay, file not found. Why? We didn't import that. So let's import this file. Import. So we have to select in this, where is that? It's not, okay, it's over here. Let's go. So this is the class. Now guys, let's go back one step and then again resubmit. So let's select the file once again with the blue and submit. Perfect. Slider updated successfully, and this is the data after refreshing, and you can see the image, and let's try to see the old image. So that old image is not there and new image is updated. Perfect. So now let's add one more slider, which will be slider 2 heading, slider 2 description, add some data, link will be hash. Here we are going to give learn more and update the image, submit, added. Let's go back on this. You can see two sliders are there. So now let's integrate this slider on your home page. Okay, so we are going to set over here. So let's go to our route local directly. So let's move on the top. So this is the path. Let's go to the front end controller, and this is the page. Let's go there. Okay, let's move at the top. You can see that includes slider where front end slider. So let's move that. Where is the front end slider? And inside this slider blade.php, and this is the slider, guys. So now, so this slider we don't require. Let's remove this slider and go back to getbootstrap.com. We are using Bootstrap 4, guys. So let's shift to Bootstrap 4. So right now version is 5. For this project we were using Bootstrap 4. So let's use that. Okay, so let's search for carousel. Let's move below. So this is with the heading and paragraph, and you can more link also. So let's copy this slider, copy it and paste. We don't require these things. We don't need these indicators. And here the carousel inner, and these are your carousel items. Let's remove this, and this will be a next and previous button. Save, And now let's integrate that sliders. So first let's move to a front-end controller where you are going to index page. Okay, on this page, which this page, okay, this is the slider, right? On this page we are going, so that is index page with the help of front-end controller. Let's create slider is equal to slider model colon colon where status, if it is 0 only, then only you have to come using get function. And let's import this class at the top. So this is the slider imported, and then inside this compact function let's pass that slider variable, send that, done. And now guys, let's move back to this and go inside this path, and let's use for each loop, for each slider, which is slider item, and inside this slider item you require all your headings and paragraph description, that is okay. So let's paste this, and now first this is your image path. Let's call the path over here as set function. Let's call our path uploads /slider / then your $slider item of image, done. So this will be your image. Let's mention that it's a slider image in the alt tag, and now let's try to fetch that again, the heading. So let's paste slider item of heading, copy, paste, description, and then link. So this link will be working as a tag. So let's cut this, add a tag, href is equal to paste directly, as simple. And over here the link name which you have created, slider item of link underscore name, and then one status. So that status will be checked over here only, that is checked now, and I mean in this your status. And now let's keep this as active or inactive, because if it is active means it will set all active only, right? So for that you need to create one simple one condition called $I is equal to 1 and end PHP, and after this let's increment that I. So add PHP start and end PHP, and $I plus plus, we need to paste this down and take this active over here and mention the above $I is double equal to 1, then you have to set it is active, else it should be null. So don't require anything, as simple. Save. And now guys, let us test this first. Let's get back, refresh. Perfect. So you can see that slider heading 1 updated, slider description updated, and read more button has come. Over here you can see read more, learn more. Cool. So guys, now we have created this slider, right? So let us try to hide the status of this. I don't want to show this second slider. So this is slider 1 and this is slider 2. I don't want to show slider 2. So let's click on edit and select this, and now let's submit. Over here you can see slider updated, and now let's try to access that second slider over here. So you cannot access that second slider because there is no slider, so only one slider is there, as simple. Let's add one more slider, third slider for demo. Let's click on slider 3 heading, slider 3 description, and link will be hash we are going to give, and contact us we will tell, add the image, open and submit. Let's get back. You can see this is visible and this is visible, this is hidden. Refresh. You can see that slider 1 and next will be the slider 3. Okay, so slider 3 data is coming. Cool. So let's make the status as unchecked, submit, which will be visible now. Refresh. Perfect. So 1, 2 and 3. So guys, in this video we have completed with the slider CRUD application for our FabCart e-commerce Laravel 5.8 version. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like and share.